Welcome to another episode of On the Call with Jake Marsh. My name is Jake Marsh. I am in New York for the entire week. We have a big week. It is TBT week. I teased it on the episode last week, but I'm back on FS1 this week. 2 out of 3 series. Syracuse alumni versus Seton Hall alumni in a 2 out of 3 basketball series in TBT 26 for a total of $2 million. This is a best of 3 series in the first round. There are 14 teams in the tournament, and it is winner take all. So with that being said, what better timing to have Hall of Famer Jim Boeheim on the show? That's right, folks. One of the GOATs in college basketball coaching joined me to talk about TBT this week, the state of Syracuse basketball, college athletics, his broadcasting career, because that is what this show is about, of course. So we will get into that. And then, of course, we wrap up the show with our recurring segments. We've got Tip of the Cap and That's Wild of the Week. All right, so another episode of On the Call with Jake Marsh starts now.
It's caught! Touchdown! It's time to dance! Oh my goodness! Gloves are off! 7 for 3! Bang! Oh, that is swatted away! Shefflin brings the boom! This is Huck. A step back 3! Oh yeah! The shot of a lifetime! Barstool Sports! Arizona Bowl champions! It's good! It's over! He got it! He got it! He got it! It's 6!
All right, folks, middle of the summer, fresh off my 2026 best 81 on the golf course. I went out and did a solo round at Bethpage Red. Used to play Bethpage a ton when I lived out in New York City, take the LA RR, but I'm at my cousin's house here on Long Island, and I'm in a good mood because I shot an 81. We've got a busy week this week. I'm excited to turn this show into a little bit of a traveling show too, right? A lot of it's been talking about other people's broadcasting careers, and I've talked about mine a little bit, but I think now merging my experiences as they're ongoing will be a little cool, different chapter than what we've done so far, where I'm in my apartment talking about the past. Now I can also walk the audience through the present. So again, TBT, thank you to Fox Sports and TBT for the opportunity. If you're tuning in the day this episode comes out, Tuesday, so game 1 would be tonight. We've got Boeheim's Army, Syracuse alumni, against Seton Hall alumni on FS1 at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Will be myself and Casey Jacobson on the call. Then we'll drive up to Syracuse Wednesday, have game 2 on FS1 in Syracuse on Thursday night, and if game 3 is necessary, we'll run it back on Friday night. So I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for, it's a very busy week, folks, which middle of the summer in this business will take every time. Right after TBT, I'm going to be heading down to Tampa for a new series called the World Flag Series. And it is going to be a 3-team women's flag football tournament live streamed on YouTube. And flag football, folks, it is absolutely booming. It's coming to the Olympics, as you may know, in 2028. So I'm excited to join the World Flag Series broadcast team. I'll be doing the play-by-play for the entirety of this tournament. I'm going to tweet out and post the link, but it's going to be on YouTube, free to watch. I believe it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and the juices are going to get flowing because NFL and college football are coming back in about a month and a half. So we've got some live flag football on YouTube. So between 2, maybe 3 basketball games and that, I'm amped to be back on the call for a handful of events this week. But let's get to some business. Jim Boeheim is on the call with Jake Marsh, and it starts now. Here we go. Myself, the one, the only, Jim Boeheim. All right, we now welcome on an exceptionally special guest. He is a Hall of Famer. He is a national champion. He is a gold medalist, and he's the father of 2 players in this week's TBT 2026. It is the one, the only, Jim Boeheim. And Coach, I'm glad we have the opportunity to chat right now because I'll admit, when I was a student, I sat in on a lot of your press conferences, and I never had the courage to raise my hand and have Pete Moore, the SID, come over and give me a microphone. But now we have the floor. So I just wanted to get that out of the way first.
Well, it's funny because every place I go, there's a Syracuse guy, and they all say the exact same thing. Whether it's, it doesn't matter who it is, Mike Tirico or, it's Ian and Noah Eagle. They also we didn't ask any questions. I, I'm sorry I was that scary. I shouldn't have been, but I'm a grumpy guy, and after games, I'm really usually grumpy, even win or lose, because there's always something bad that happened in the game. So I apologize for being that guy.
No, not your fault at all. I think it was me just being intimidated by the whole big media situation. Because as students, that's a unique situation. I think that's why a lot of us go to Syracuse to be in those real world situations outside of the classroom.
Well, they all tell me it's real world. They said it's there's nobody harder, so they use that as I guess as a teaching point. I'm teaching Newhouse and fault people now, so I get to talk to all the students on a daily basis, and or not daily, but class by a 3 hour class every week, and it's been fun and really enlightening to see just how smart the Newhouse kids are. It's amazing things that they can handle and figure out. Way smarter than their teacher. I don't know
That's
if that's a good thing.
that's incredible. What's the name of the class that Professor Boeheim teaches at Newhouse?
It's a leadership class. We have 21 seniors, almost all seniors in it, and it was a lot of fun. We did some Zooms with Commissioner Sankey and the commissioner of the Big East, and Mike Krzyzewski came on. So we had some good Zoom leaders on. It was a fun class.
That's really cool. I'd love to be on a fly on a wall for that. All right, so let's get into the current events right now. I thought it would be a great time to have you on because it's TBT week. I'll be on the call. Excited to get back up to the Northeast on Fox Sports this week. But what's it been like over the last decade or so watching a lot of your players come back to campus from different eras and they're colliding to represent the program? I mean, you have your kids playing with Eric Devendorf and Wes Johnson. Do you ever think that was possible?
No, you never think that's going to happen. I'm just very proud of the guys that have wanted to play over the years. It's a great tournament. We won it. We snuck one out once on a last second shot, but it's a tough tournament, but it's a great tournament, fun tournament. And our teams, these guys are looking forward to it. I think we have a pretty good team. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think we get if we can get by our first round, it's all on the road. So I think we have to go to Kentucky and Wichita, wherever. So it'll be tough, but it's fun for them to play in this tournament. It's a great concept, and I think it's great for basketball in the summertime to have that kind of a tournament in the summertime. I've been trying to get the NCAA to let us play games in the summertime for a few years, and just can't get any movement on it. We have teams practicing for 8 weeks straight in the summer now because you need to get used to the new teams that you put together. And it'd be great to have a tournament at the end of the summer for these college guys, but they just haven't okayed it yet. Probably won't, but it's the TBT is a good alternative.
Yeah, I think a few years ago there was I don't know if it was a rumor or if it was just had a little bit of wheels that Doug Gottlieb was trying to get his Green Bay team into the TBT. Obviously, it didn't end up happening, but I think a lot of coaches probably share that perspective is that you get tired of just scrimmaging against your own guys all summer.
Yeah, 8 weeks is a long time. It's great. You need it because you're putting a new team together every year. Before you had some guys coming back. Now it's pretty much a new team, and so you need that summer practice. It'd be great if they had some kind of a tournament at the end of the summer. It could be a long weekend. You could play 2 games. You could play anybody. Syracuse could go play anybody they wanted to, and the smaller schools could get bigger games. It'd be a fun thing. We've talked about it for a few years now. In fact, I think John Calipari brought it up probably about 6 or 8 years ago, and all the coaches at that time that were on that call, it was a committee, Tom Izzo and a bunch of top coaches in the country who are all for it. Just haven't been able to get it through. But it's fun to be in the TBT anyway.
No doubt. All right. So now that the roster is locked in, Boeheim's Army 2026, 10 players. They have 6 players who are Orange alumni, but there's also 4 guys who they brought from the outside in, which has become a popular trend as of recent. What makes this team capable of winning the tournament, knowing what you know about the roster?
Well, from what I've seen, they've got a good center. In fact, I saw him play against Buddy in Vegas the other night. He played with Jimmy in Germany. He had 5 dunks the other night. Really athletic center. I think he'll help. I think Tyson Walker, point guard from Michigan, is really good. The kid that got 40 against us last year is on our team this year, so that's a good thing. But I think we've got a good roster. Elijah Hughes had a good year in Germany. Cole Swider had a good year. Jimmy had a good year. Buddy had a good year in the G League. So we've got a solid team. It'll be. It's not easy this tournament. Everybody's pretty good in it. I wish they'd have kind of broken it down into 2 divisions and had a kind of a prize after the college group got done, and then when the other group got done, and then a bigger prize when they played together, played off. But you know, my suggestion didn't get in time, so it is what it is. But they're looking forward to it. Just it's fun to play games and to play in tournaments anyway.
Yeah, especially with the home court advantage this year, where all the games on the alumni side are on sold out on campus arenas. I think that's going to create a really fascinating dynamic. So obviously, we mentioned your 2 sons, Buddy and Jimmy, making up 20% of this year's team. When you guys made the Sweet 16 in the bubble, 2021, Buddy obviously was a big part of that team. And when you guys were making that run right after beating West Virginia, there was a clip that went viral. I don't know if you know what I'm about to show you, but this is right after the 2003 national championship. This made waves on social media. It's baby Buddy running around and chasing Carmelo Anthony with a net that you guys just cut down in the locker room in New Orleans from.
Well, I have to correct one quick thing.
Okay, go ahead.
That was Jimmy. That was Jimmy.
Oh, that was Jimmy. Okay.
Buddy.
Excuse me.
Buddy didn't make the trip. Buddy was 2. Jimmy was 3. And Buddy's very upset to this day that he wasn't on that trip. But that was Jimmy running the locker room. I'm not sure he knew what happened even. But yeah, it was that's a surreal moment to when you win one of those things. It's just crazy. And Kansas was a great team. To beat a great team is even better. We have to beat somebody that's as good as Kansas was with their veterans, Collison and Heinrich. It was a great win and great feeling.
Yeah, I've got to say, this might be like the Mandela effect, because I think everyone assumed that was Buddy when you guys were making that run. And it was wild then, but now it's even wilder now. So that's wild. That's wild.
Well, Buddy is funny. He didn't get that, but he was the one that went to the 6 overtime game a couple of years later and was in New York City at 1:30 in the morning going to McDonald's with our managers to get something to eat after the 4-hour marathon game that we had there. And he was so young. I mean, he was crying during the game. He couldn't watch it. He had to go into the back area and watching on TV with Bob Huggins, who was in there. But yeah, that was his moment. He wanted to go to the Big East tournament, and he got the epic game.
He did indeed. One of the greatest college basketball games ever. So you've accomplished, as I mentioned at the top of the show, essentially everything in college basketball. But how different was coaching Team USA alongside some of the greatest players and coaches in the world?
Well, it's a great experience. You cannot have a better experience. The NBA players were great. You remember LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade were all young. Kobe came with us to the first Olympics in Beijing and was unbelievable. But it was just such a great group. And then to continue in London, we had both times we had easy games, or not relatively easy games all the way to the finals, and then Spain was really good in both finals, and we're able to. They were really good European guards and the Gasol brothers. Two games that came down right to the end, and we're able to win, and then getting another one in Rio, get three Olympic gold medals. But it was a great experience. The basketball was high level, and the players were just phenomenal. They did everything we asked them to do, and you just we had three world championship games, and then the three in the Olympics. I mean, it was just an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it's really incredible, and it's the only platform where the guys that you're coaching against or playing against year round that you get to team up with them, right? You mentioned Coach K. I know Mark Few's a good friend of yours. You're going against these guys for recruits and trying to get better seeds throughout the year, but it provides such a unique experience where you get to team up and share your brain knowledge.
Well, not only that, but the players play against each other all year and trying to beat each other, and when you just see them come together, and they just did everything together. They were, played cards, they go to games. They just wanted to, and nobody cared about who scored. There's no agents there worried about, hey, you got to get your points or the contract talks or something. You just play and win, try to win, and everybody sacrificed. Dwayne Wade said, "I'll come off the bench." Yeah, it was just everybody sacrificed and did what they needed to do to win a gold medal. There's nothing better than to win a gold medal for your country and to stand on that stand after the championship game and hear the national anthem. There's nothing like it. And it's hard to do. It's even getting harder to do. The world is so good. I mean, Steph Curry had to go off to beat Serbia in the last Olympics, and it'll be tough. Even though the next one's in Los Angeles, it's French, obviously, with the big guy Wembanyama there. They're not going to be easy, and Jokic is still in his prime, so it'll be tough, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the international basketball has been really good, and they've closed the gap for sure. Um, if you were the head coach of Team USA, throwing a hypothetical at you, who would be your staff?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have another college coach, so you would take somebody from the college ranks. Mark Few is a great friend of mine. He's doing it this year. We'll be doing it again in Los Angeles. He's a great coach. And the NBA, there's so many guys. I mean, they have them all working now. Buddy plays at Oklahoma. Uh, Coach Dagnow is an unbelievable coach, the Oklahoma City coach. But there's so many good coaches in the NBA, young coaches that all can coach anywhere. I mean, Spoelstra will be the coach of this next Olympic team. Eric, he's a phenomenal coach. Everybody. I mean, you can't coach in the NBA unless you know what you're doing. The guy, Nick Nurse obviously does a great job in Philly. And some of the foreign coaches that are now in the NBA are phenomenal coaches. Toronto's coach is tremendous. But there's just a lot of great coaches in the NBA, a lot of great players. It's a great product right now. The NBA is in a great position. They have star players, they have great coaches, they have a lot of good players, and it'll be fun to see the next Olympic team because there's a lot of guys that are going to be fighting for those spots, and we'll need to have a good team because it will not be easy.
No doubt. You mentioned jumping from college to NBA. We just saw Dusty May go from winning a national championship at Michigan. Now he's the coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Billy Donovan did the same thing after winning back-to-back titles with the Gators. Is that something you ever considered after winning it all and making the jump to the NBA, or were you orange till you
No,
die?
I never did. It was too late for me by the time we got to that point. And the NBA is great. I mean, especially today's world. I think Dusty May, when he won the game, he had to go recruiting the next day uh, and start raising NIL dollars to get next year's team ready. And I don't. He hasn't said that. I don't think he's ever going to say that. But I think that's not fun. And you go to the NBA, you don't have to worry about that. Somebody drafts your team, and you just coach. You have to coach your team. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some college coaches going. He's a tremendous coach. And most college coaches that have failed have gone to bad teams. And if you go to a bad team, you're not going to win. They're not firing the players, so they're firing the coaches. But the good NBA jobs usually are held by longtime NBA coaches. But I think Dusty's got Cooper Flag. Kyrie's coming back. I saw him this summer at camp. He looks great. Um, so I think he's got a good team, and I think it's a great opportunity. It'll be fun. We'll see what he can accomplish. But the NBA is coaches obviously are always important, but it's about players. You need to have players. Uh, it's just how the 48-minute game, 70 games. It's the better players are going to win. There can be some upsets, but in the long run, uh, the team with the best players is going to win. That's
Yeah.
just the way it is. And the NBA looks great. Knicks did a great job. I mean, Oklahoma City had a terrible break at the end of the year. Their two best, second and third best scorers were out for the playoffs, and they still almost got to the finals. But it's a great league. It's fun to watch. I watch too many games probably. I sit home, watch television, watch games all the time. But college games great too. We have 50 great foreign players or more that are over here for NIL, and 50 or more seniors that stayed another year to get NIL money. So you got a great game. I mean, it might be ugly getting it all together and raising the money and all that stuff. It's got to be put under control somehow. But the game itself is going to be good. You have really good players and really good coaches. Um, College basketball is in a great position, and the tournament will be tremendous because there's so many good teams. You look at next year. I mean, there's unlimited number of really good teams, and that's fun for the fans.
I know the majority of the fans are not happy with the tournament expansion. From a coach's perspective, how do you guys view it?
That's dumb. The media people that are all against that are dumb. You're adding teams. They say whether the sixth, seventh, eighth place team. All right, they're still good teams. They're teams that probably got beat by the first, second, third place team in a great conference like 6 times. So that's why they have a lot of losses. But all you're doing is adding another Dayton weekend. 2 days like in Dayton, and after that first series of games, the weak teams will be out. The stronger teams will be left. So when you get down to the 64 after that weekend, you'll have a better tournament top to bottom than you had before. And these expansion people that are against this, the same thing happened. I'm old. When it was at 16, people didn't want to expand to 24. When it was at 24, they didn't want to expand to 32 and then to 48. Nobody wanted to expand. Then we went to 64 and 68. Is the tournament worse? No. The tournament is better and more popular than it ever was. And some people wanted to leave it at 32. What you do is you add 8 more fan bases, 8 more groups of players get to go to the NCAA tournament, and 8 coaches get to say they took their team to the tournament. That's huge. And what damage is done? The tournament's still great. It hasn't done any damage, and it's gotten 8 more fan groups into the tournament. And you play Dayton, which is a great weekend in Dayton. They do that someplace else those 2 days, and now you get down to 64 teams, and you're ready to go. It's nonsense. They talk about, well, it's more money. It's nothing to do with money. It's about, listen, when there were 64 teams, well, back say when there was 48, there was about 200 basketball schools. Now there's 360 basketball schools, and 68, 76 are going to get in. That's less than 25%. The NBA, what, 50%?
And with the
Go to
play-in,
the,
you've got more than half.
yeah, football. I don't know. I'm not going to be exact on the numbers, but a lot of football teams get in the playoffs, right?
Football, we've currently got 14 out of 32.
Yeah. So it's almost half.
Right.
So we have 76 out of 360. So it's just They've been doing this for years, talking about how this is going to ruin the tournament. They did it when it went from 48 to 64, made it better, to 68, made it better. The tournament's fine. The tournament's going to be good. All that the tournament needs is good quality teams. What isn't going to happen because of you can load up all these Indiana, all Mississippi, Vanderbilt, all teams that weren't great basketball schools are good. So for an unknown or little school to get to the Final Four, it's not going to happen. You might win a game here or there, but that's not happening anymore. The other teams are just too strong because of NIL and transfer portal. The smaller schools lose their good players and they go to a bigger school for money. You can't blame them, but it makes it almost impossible for a Butler, for a VCU, for a George Mason to get to the Final Four. It's not going to happen, but it doesn't mean it's not a good tournament. It's going to be a good tournament,
Right.
and the games will be great. Last year's tournament was great. Uh, all the games were good. So the power teams are probably going to get there, yeah, but it's like in football. Indiana football got there. So in basketball, Vanderbilt or somebody that's not a traditional power can get there. But it's a lot about money now, and schools that are spending the most money are probably going to get the most teams to the Final Four. It's just the way it is. It's the way it goes.
Right. Yeah, we might not see as many Cinderellas. We still had one here and there. I know last year was pretty chalky, but one team that almost pulled off a historic upset was Siena. Jerry
Yeah.
McNamara, of course, now the head coach at Syracuse. If I had told you 20 years ago that GMAC would one day become the head coach at Syracuse, would you have believed me? And how would you feel about that?
Well, I would have said he's going to be a coach, and I wouldn't have doubted that. He's a very smart player, understood the game, and wanted to coach. Always did. He came back from Europe early when he could have made $400,000 playing to get into coaching, and when he went to Siena, I knew he would get the job done. He got it done in 2 years. Um, they weren't talking about him here at Syracuse until he won the conference tournament. And then all of a sudden, everybody in Syracuse started talking about him. And then when he played Duke, it was like, okay, we need to bring Jerry back here. And, he's a tremendous coach. He's put together a really good staff. He's put together a really good class. He had some money. I don't think Adrian ever had enough money to get the players he needed, to be fair. But Jerry's put a good class together, and I think they're going to be competitive. But some schools are spending $20 million, $25 million on their roster. That's hard to beat. I mean, but you can still do it. I think he has enough money he's assembled a really solid team. He's got centers, point guards, shooters. He's got a good variety of players, and so a lot of veteran guys and a couple young guys. So we'll see how they do. It'll be fun to watch. But college basketball it's so many good teams because of the bottom teams never could get up on top because they had to recruit freshmen and they could never win. Now bottom teams can recruit juniors and seniors who are good players and can be competitive. So the whole landscape has changed and it's balanced. I don't think anybody likes the unlimited money and all that. That needs to be somehow controlled. But there's no question the money in the transfer portal has balanced out college sports, football, basketball, right down the line, all the sports.
Right.
And, we'll see if they can somehow get it some control with contracts. I mean, you got the NBA, so you got to have contracts, you got to have salary caps and all that stuff. But we'll see how they work it out. It hasn't been done yet.
Right. I know there are going to be a handful of Syracuse fans listening to this, and I'm sure they're eager to get back to the NCAA tournament. So,
Yeah.
what does Syracuse need to do to get back into that nationally relevant conversation? Is it just the money thing? Is it just the alums
Yeah.
need to whip out their checkbooks? Is it just
Yeah.
plain and simple?
Yeah, it is money, and our alums have always given to the school. They need to start giving to athletics, and they haven't. And Southern schools Big Ten schools had already always given to athletics. So now it wasn't a big transition for them. It's been a big transition for us. So we need to, it's money. We need to get behind. We have a lot of alums with a lot of money, and they need to get behind the athletic program in both football and basketball. We have good coaches. Um, and if you want to be around when the expansion comes in 4 years, 4 years, whatever it is, when the TV deals run out, you better be good in football. And being good in basketball won't hurt, but you need to be good in football if you want to survive if there is a cut down in terms of how many schools there are.
Right. That totally makes sense. This podcast, the premise of it was talking about sports media and broadcasting. And I feel like you'd be a great person to have on because this is the new chapter of your career. You're now working for the ESPN and the ACC network. How much was working in media on your radar when your coaching career ended?
I thought maybe I would want to do some games, and it worked out. ESPN has been great for me. I did some studio for a year, which is tougher because it's a lot of driving back and forth for me. And so I wanted to do games. They allowed me to do the games. I had great fun with it. I've worked with great people doing the games. And, I mean, there's nobody better than the guys I've worked with. Uh, and I'd like to, probably continue. I don't do a lot. I do 20 games. I do some studio at the end of the year and at the ACC tournament. I get to see coaches. I go into arenas. Fans love me everywhere now. I mean, I don't know what it is. Probably because they beat us or something. But wherever I go, fans come up and they're very really nice. And so it's fun for me to see the coaches, talk to the players, and do a few games. It keeps you in it. I really enjoy doing that. ESPN's been great to me, and hope to continue doing that. Teach the class and do some things. You retire, you can't just sit home. It's not a good thing. I have too many tasks that are assigned to me when I'm home, so I'm happy to go out and be on the road a little bit. It's been fun. The broadcasters and the color people that I work with and I see at ESPN, it's amazing how professional they are, how they understand the game and work at the game. I mean, it's been an unbelievable experience to see be a part. I don't really consider being a color commentator part of the media. The media are those people that ask irritating questions, and I'm not. I don't do that. So I'm just there to talk about basketball, have fun, tell some stories, and you know, bring a little different perspective to the broadcast.
What was the most irritating question you can recall in your career standing at the podium?
I there really weren't that many, and the ones that I did get upset about get blown out of proportion. I did thousands of press conferences, and I probably had four or five. But the only thing that really ever bothered me is I'll explain what happened during the game first, and then the first question will be what happened in the game. I said I just explained that, but I should have been better about it. Uh, But when you lose a game, you're not. It's tough. I mean, it's a hard dynamic. You obviously take every game as life or death in coaching, and that's what it should be. And when you explain what happened, then get a question about what you just answered. Yeah, I should have been better. I admit it now. I'm sorry.
No, we all have regrets and mistakes, and yeah, being accountable obviously makes things easier with time. What's harder, teaching players how to execute a 2-3 zone or explaining it to viewers when you're calling a game, what's happening during the 2-3 zone?
Yeah, I don't try to explain it to the viewers. It's a little more complex. It's not. It's not rocket science, but if you play a zone and you have to play a lot like we did, then you have to modify it. You have to be able to modify it and change how you attack certain offenses. It's not just stand there and hope they miss shots. So there's a lot to it, but there's a lot to coaching man to man too. A lot of different things you can do. They're both complex, but it's the thing I always used to be upset about. And when somebody asked me, why didn't you switch to man? Well, we play zone. when teams that play man lose a game, they don't ask the coach, why didn't you switch to zone? It's because, well, we're a man-to-man team. Well, we're a zone team. And we try to adjust it to who we're playing against, and we're able to do that fairly well.
Totally. Well, this has been awesome, Coach. I really appreciate you taking the time. And are you going to be coming to New Jersey for game one, or are you going to be waiting for games 2 and 3 at home?
I'll be watching on TV, but I'll be at the home games for sure. I try not to travel if I don't have to anymore, and that's like a down and backer. I'm not doing that, but I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's a great tournament, and it's fun talking to you. Great to be with you.
Yeah, you too. Well, if you're watching game one, you'll see me and Casey Jacobson on FS1. So we're excited.
I'll be there.
Yep, and then at the On Center for games 2 and 3, Thursday and Friday. Coach Boeheim, really appreciate the time. This was awesome, and we'll see you later this week.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you to Coach Boeheim for the time. Shout out to his son, Jimmy, for the assist in setting this interview up. Also, folks, I can't believe I don't know how I didn't know that was Jimmy in the crazy video with Mello in the locker room and not Buddy. I think the whole internet thought it was Buddy Boeheim this whole time, but he corrected me on the spot. Coach Boeheim, that's what a Hall of Famer does, and I got to take my accountability. But he was awesome. I really enjoyed Coach Boeheim and what he had to say, and I appreciated his honesty. That's what he always gives the people, right, at the podium or working for ESPN or ACC Network. He always gives people his honest thoughts, and I thought we got just that. And he'll be watching the broadcast on Tuesday night, and hopefully I'll get to shake his hand in Syracuse later this week when he comes to game number 2 and or 3. All right, so tip of the cap of the week. Obviously, it was the end of the World Cup. A little bit of a snoozer in terms of the game. Some fun drama towards the end. Things got chippy. Argentina picked up a red card. But let's go to the post-game coverage. And the tip of the cap, I'm wearing a cap, so here we go. For those of you watching on YouTube, please subscribe if you're not already. Tip of the cap to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I know he's been a topic on this show since I started it because he's made waves with Alexi Lalas. But Zlatan, after his first World Cup broadcast appearance in this tournament, he also says it will be his last. So a little bit of a verbal meme, the Simpsons guy walking in, putting his hat on the coat rack, and then walking back out. Zlatan says that this will be it for his broadcasting career. Here was the clip on the Fox postgame show.
I've been talking a lot the last 1.5 months, so this will be my last words. I want to take this moment. Alexi, thank you. Thierry, thank you. Rebecca, thank you. It has been an absolutely pleasure to share this studio with you guys. You made it very easy for me. I want to thank also Fox Studio. I want to thank America. I want to thank also all the other people you don't see. I don't remember all the names like Thierry.
Everybody.
But you made it easy for me. I hope, America, you enjoyed as much as I did. And this is also my farewell to the studio.
It is?
This was the first and last time for me. So thank you, everybody.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful, Zlatan.
So I think a lot of people took that by surprise, right? Because he was the breakout star in terms of broadcasting of this FIFA World Cup. There were a lot of veterans, but Fox's Brad Zager, who runs the show there, he's the president. He was identified as one of the top talent in all of soccer media coming into this, or at least from his eyes, and he hit the nail on the head right there. Zlatan was incredible. I saw a lot of Charles Barkley comparisons, which I think is true, right? People appreciate Chuck for just giving his opinion straightforward, doesn't give a heck as to what people think about him. He just says what's on his mind and lets it rip. And I think we got a lot of that with Zlatan about the players and coaches in this tournament. We got it, the little beef with Alexi Lalas. So, yeah, am I surprised by this move? I think so. I think he could have had a really long future in this business. But Mike Florio also tweeted, Zlatan understands leverage. So could this be a move to maybe get a bigger deal down the road, potentially? For sure. I also saw that the 2030 World Cup it's not set in stone who's going to be broadcasting it. So maybe there could be a Zlatan bidding war in 2030 if Fox retains or if ESPN takes it back. Maybe a Netflix or somebody comes in. So Zlatan, I'm sure they would all throw a bag for Zlatan to have him back on the studio in 4 years, in the studio for 4 years, because he was a hit. So we'll see if his mind changes. I mean, it's 4 years away. Maybe he gets back into it. Maybe he's right. Maybe he holds true to this, and that's it. But tip of the cap to Zlatan. That was an incredible 6 weeks for him on the airwaves. All right, so final segment in this week's episode. It is That's Wild of the Week, and we've got a few that I've bookmarked throughout the week. So let's get right into it. I'll be upfront. None of these have to do with sports media. We even venture outside the sports world a little bit. Let's start right there. In fact, The Odyssey. Everybody's talking about The Odyssey this week. I saw it. I thought it was great. Some people are saying it's one of the best movies ever. I don't know if I'd go that far. But anyways, here we go. It's a picture of Matt Damon, who plays Odysseus, who's the main character. Matt Damon on the set of The Talented Mr. Ripley in 1998. He's sitting with an umbrella in his director's chair, just taking a breather, and he's reading a book. What's the name of that book? The Odyssey. Folks, that's wild. Just less than 30 years later, he now plays the lead role in the movie of the book he was reading on a set of another movie. Whoa, that's wild. Next up, we head to Wrigley Field. Anthony Rizzo, fellow South Florida guy, he was sitting in the bleachers with the fans. He was one of us, as they would say. And Michael Busch, a player for the Cubs, in the first inning, he hit a dinger. He hit a dinger into the right field bleachers, and Anthony Rizzo caught the ball, or not in the air, but he got the ball with his kid in his arms. What are the odds that Michael Busch, a Cubs player, on the 10-year anniversary weekend of the Cubs breaking the drought, catches a home run? Folks, that's wild. And this wasn't the first time that happened either. I think he did it last season. And Anthony Rizzo has now gotten got his hands on 2 balls that were dingers at Wrigley Field. I mean, most people go an entire lifetime without getting near a home run ball, but Anthony Rizzo's got 2. He's got some pep in his step for sure. And then one more. This was a viral tweet, has nothing to do with sports, and I don't know if it was staged, but it was worth flagging. The person who tweeted this by Physical Media said the odds of this happening are like 1 in 525 million. It's a blown up canvas of a receipt from 7-Eleven. And it was a bunch of snacks and drinks and free Slurpee receipts, and that was part of the itemized receipt. So from 7-Eleven on July 11th, the total of the receipt was $7.11, and it was at 7:11 p.m. It probably was staged, but folks, that's wild. All right, that will do it for this week's episode. Thank you to Coach Boeheim. Please tune in to TBT this week. Again, one more time, the schedule for the people. Tuesday night in New Jersey on FS1 is Game 1, Syracuse versus Seton Hall Alumni. Travel day Wednesday. Thursday in Syracuse is Game 2 on FS1. And then if necessary, Game 3, winner advances to the quarterfinals to play either Kentucky or Louisville. That would be Friday night on FS2. So appreciate all the love. Please subscribe on every platform, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon podcasts, and I appreciate all the love shown on social media. We put out social media clips if you can't catch the whole show as well. Shout out to my guy Justin helping behind the scenes with that. So this was another episode of On the Call with Jake Marsh. I am Jake Marsh. We will see you guys next week where we have a big interview coming. Talk to you guys then.